Hey there, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Virtual Tacos Mode. I'm glad that you decided to tune in today for our midweek devotion, and we're going to get right into it. So get ready to learn some more things and have some great times with your devotion and to send yourselves to have a great rest of your week. So here we go. So as I stated in last week's last Feel Good Friday video, our midweek devotions for the beginning of this fall are going to come from two of the Bibles that I got while I was on mission trip with the ELCA National Youth Gatherings. The first one is going to be this one, which the theme is around the citizens with the saints. So this was the theme of the youth gathering that I went to that was in New Orleans, and then the other one that we have that'll be later on after we go through the first five here was in Detroit. So we're going to start today, and what these devotions are is known as the final 15 at the youth gathering. So for the final 15 minutes of each day, your group would go through these devotions and kind of unwind your day from the youth gathering, unwind your day of service, unwind your day of celebration, unwind your day of justice. All these things are culminating, and you would always go to the Bible for the end of your day. And so I will be reading you the first installation of what we have here for day one of the final 15 in this Bible. And it starts with this: God is always communicating with the world, but we aren't always tuned in to hear God's voice. How are you / were you aware of God's presence today? How are you tuned into God today? So those are some questions and some of the ideas that you should be thinking about as we go through and read this devotion. So I want you to be thinking specifically about your awareness of God's presence in your life today. So here we go. In the 17th century, Brother Lawrence of the Resurrection lived a lowly life, mostly in the kitchen of a Carmelite monastery in Paris. Even though he was uneducated, people were drawn to Brother Lawrence because of his peaceful nature. Brother Lawrence encouraged people who wanted to experience deep peace to practice God's presence by continually conversing with God. It seems, he wrote, like a world of trouble to bring oneself into consciousness of God's presence. But it was really very simple. He kept his attention riveted on God no matter how mundane the task he was doing. He did everything for the love of God. After his death in 1691, a book was written about Brother Lawrence called The Practice of the Presence of God. Now, over the course of these devotions and over the course of this month and all of this time in fall, we're going to be talking about practicing faith and how you can develop faith as a relationship with God. You will have to give it time and attention. It requires you to see, hear, feel, and constantly remember your partner, God. And like Brother Lawrence, you have the opportunity to do everything, even the most mundane things, for the love of God. So even the most trivial things, the things that mean nothing in life, you can have a conversation with God and build upon your faith. So now these are some of the things that we should be discussing now that we've talked about having a presence with God. So how will you attempt to keep your mind on Christ this week? And even when you're doing the most mundane tasks like eating, standing in line for the school bus, waiting for the Zoom classroom to load up, or even taking a shower, how are you going to keep Christ on your mind? Now, it's not always easy to have God at the forefront of your mind. We have so many things going through our heads all day long. There are all the tasks that we have to do. There are everything school related. There's everything family related, and so on and so on and so on. So these things aren't going to be necessarily easy for everybody to do, but think about what is distracting you and how you can work around those distractions to keep God at the forefront of your life. Another thing to think about is what practice helps enliven your awareness of God's presence. So what is something that you can do each and every day to make your awareness of God in your life more present in your mind. Because God is always there helping you. We just don't see him sometimes because the way our lives work. And the last thing this devotion is asking us to do is to ask God for grace, to keep our mind focused on Jesus as you attempt to live your life in the way of Christ. So today, how we're going to end is we're going to ask God for grace. We're going to ask God for grace through prayer. And I will lead you in prayer. So I ask at this time that you prepare yourselves for prayer. Good and gracious God, thank you for this time today that we had to be together on this virtual platform. Thank you for your word and the lessons of Brother Lawrence. Thank you for continually being in our lives and having a presence, even though we may not see it. Help us to grow and understand your presence in our lives and to see it more often than we do. Give us the grace and guidance to understand your love for us and how you impact our lives each and every day, even in the most mundane things. We lift all these things to you in your great name, and we say, Amen. So that's our first devotion for this fall in our virtual Talkwas mode. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for listening about Brother Lawrence from the 1600s and seeing the message of how we can make God more present in our lives in the most mundane things that we do, like taking a shower or going to school or waiting online, and even in this time right now. So I hope you take that message, and I hope it dwells on your hearts for the rest of this week, and that you may start to think about how God is present in your life throughout the rest of this week. So continue to tune in with us. We'll have more to come for this week as we have our first Talk About It Friday coming up. And if you have any questions that you'd like me to ask and to answer around for the group, please send them in. You can message us on Facebook, you can message us on Instagram, you can email or text me. But if you have any questions that you feel would be really fun questions or really deep discussion questions that you'd like to talk about for our Friday video, please send those in and I'll be glad to have them included in our videos. So yeah, this is it for Wednesday. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you guys understand how God can be present in your lives after today's devotion. So I'll see you later this week, everybody. Have a good one.